Hello, welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. Things are looking a little different. I think I pop out from the background a little bit more. You can see more of my hands, so my hand movements are not lost. I do a lot of hand movements, like all over the place, and it usually gets lost somehow in the visual aspect. So, let me know what you guys think of the new background setup, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of unique. I don't know, kind of digging it. Like how I pop. Very poppy today. All right, let's get into this. So, let's see. Today we're going to do some more special selections. This one comes at us from Jonathan Karp, who requests Invalids, a Rather Mediocre Genius. Says something a little different for the channel. No shortage of talent, heart, and compositional ambition to sink my teeth into. They're math rock out of New Jersey, but there isn't a genre label that describes their unique blend of clean technicality, pop punk nostalgia, and time signature shifts. Can't guarantee I'll love it, but will guarantee it's interesting. And you know what? I love that. That is one of my favorite things, is that, it's just interesting. So, well, that didn't work. There we go. All right, let's get into this. Let's see what's up with Invalids, a Rather Mediocre Genius.
Instead of walking backwards, instead of lying there to all the blood left eyes.
How is this even possible? Ooh. The drummer got into a groove there for like 2 beats and I was digging it.
Southwest of Portland, north of Sky, it's completely obscured by bright city lights. We're trying to see everything. How can we buy our own clothes before we get so far? We've been sitting in the backyard, remembering things we haven't done, eat some places we used to think we'd be wrong. What's it like to have seen us again?
All right.
To be back, how your old touch us again. And instead, when you have moved away. Late the next night, we saw them cross the sky.
Using a double finger tapping technique to grace notes is nothing short of genius.
And still the bed wasn't made, so I did it. I wasn't home the time you came to visit.
Everybody's getting on the multi-finger tapping. So how have I not heard of these guys before? Like, at all. This is not something that I should be hearing for the first time in my life. Uh, Golly, talk about a display of skill. So not only do we have three guitarists and a bassist who are just phenomenal at finger tapping, but they all can sing well. Their voices harmonize very well with each other, and you have a drummer who just has the strangest feels of time. There is not really a single section in that song that I felt that I had any grasp of where we were going with the time. Like there was one section where I could kind of, get into a groove and kind of start bobbing my head, but I mean just seriously, like as soon as I get into that groove, he's like, "No, let's switch it up." All right, even with the one time that I really found the time signature in, which was the 3/4 6/8 part, they refused to stick to a solid beat. You could count it in 3/4, you could count it in 6/8, but really we were getting, if we were in 3/4, uh, a beat and a half was our feeling. So we had downbeat, offbeat, downbeat, offbeat, downbeat, and it was just like, it's not something that you can just like jam with. It's not something you can get into a groove. There is no groove here that's really feelable for a first listen. I'm sure once you get used to what's going on, you can start getting a feel for some of the sections and kind of get into a groove. But I think just on the surface, it is designed to be grooveless, which kind of fascinates me that I still got into it as hard as I did, because I am a large fan. I'm a big fan of groove. I just love being able to, get into that pocket and just feel the flow, the rhythm of the song. And these guys just did not, they didn't let you have that at any point. So there's definitely a bit of respect I got to give them for basically keeping out of that groove, keeping out of that pocket, but still kind of creating a song that doesn't feel, again, like I said yesterday, I think, disjointed. The song still has a nice flow to it, even though that flow is not something that I necessarily find normal to get into. Um, so yeah, that just like the time based writing, the rhythmic concept going on in itself is kind of a bit ridiculous. But then we start talking about all of the rhythms going on, and we have the drummer, we have the three guitarists and the bassists. That's actually five. I can count. I promise. And they're all doing, it sounds like their own thing. And it almost sounds like there's a canon going on or a medley where we have that, the grace note hit. We got the doo 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 doo, and like the lead guitarist does that through a couple of the sections where it's just this really quick. They're almost like the two taps are so close to each other, but they're just, a 30-second note apart. We call those grace notes. And it basically allows him to create a quarter note rhythm, or maybe a dotted quarter note rhythm, depending on the time signature of the song, and give it a lot of flavor. Instead of just going do, 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 you get do, 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 doo-doo, and it gives it this more disjointed feel, which works well with their wild time signatures. But like I said, it also adds a little bit of spice to it, because if you take the grace notes out, it is kind of a simple rhythm, but when you put them in, it sounds fun. It sounds upbeat. You're basically playing a note just slightly ahead of the beat, and it's giving it this energy, this rush, this momentum. And you get a lot of this just by playing one extra note. So, I mean, the grace notes have a lot of really cool things in math rock. Usually they're not used for this. This is a very unusual use of the grace note, but it works, you know? But the thing is that I find interesting is I swear a lot of the guitarists are doing this rhythm, but they're all doing it like half a beat or a beat apart from each other. Something unusual. And it's creating this echoey kind of canyon sound where you hear the doo-doo, but it's not quite the next beat yet, you know, where the next repetition should come, but you're hearing it from over here now. And it's not quite near the next repetition, but you hear this one, then this guy over here pops in. So it's this really cool, some people call them round, some people call them, not, I think it said medley earlier, that's wrong. Round or canyon, canon, where I've mentioned this before, Frere Jacques or Row, Row, Row Your Boat, where you start something and then, you know, before you finish your repetition, someone else comes in. I think Row, Row, Row Your Boat is, yeah, it's every 2 beats, or yeah, every 2 beats. Then the next person will join in and start at the beginning. So there'll be 2 beats behind you, but you'll be, you know, offset by 2 beats. That's what a canon is, or, you know, some people call them rounds. I feel like that's what's happening here, but being that it's such a disjointed rhythm, it creates this like cacophony where it not only creates not auditory, like a melodic cacophony where you have a lot of sounds going off at the same time, but also a rhythmic one where you can't really tell where the beat is because everybody is doing the same rhythm, just slightly offset from each other. And yeah, it's a wild ride just because and like I said, it's simple. Without the grace notes, you're talking about basically quarter or dotted quarter notes. It's just the grace note complicates it, and then the number of people playing it complicates it, and then you have your bassist who sometimes is playing with them and sometimes is just tearing it up. There was one time when he was just all over that neck, just like playing 16th note, multiple finger tapping, just wild stuff. And the drummer, I can't even keep up with what the drummer was doing. Like I said, he was not trying to sit in a pocket at all. He was basically trying to stay as far away from the groove as he could and be another instrument in the rhythmic cacophony. Just another agent of chaos for time. And oh man, I really shouldn't enjoy this song as much as I did because I do enjoy, like I said earlier, groove. I like to get into a song. I don't want to feel like I'm constantly figuring out what's going on. I have no base understanding of what happened in this song other than some very vague ideas of like, hey, we just entered a punk thing, like when they did the gang vocals for counting in the second section. A couple of sections felt like classic pop, punk, pop rock, choruses before just completely devolving and deconstructing what that is into the chaos that the rest of the song is. Talking about like heavy layering and stuff. Let's talk about those vocals. So while these guys are doing this canon with those grace note dotted dotted quarter notes, they're also singing harmonies, but the harmonies aren't even with each other, man. We have like a canon going into harmonies as well, and the fact that these guys can not only do each of these individual sections, but do them together while handling 2 of them. These guys are playing the guitar and doing the vocal parts, and they're not lining up. They're not lining up with the other people, which is hard enough as it is. One of the first difficult major things that you learn as an instrumentalist, other than, learning your instrument, is learning how to play outside of the time or outside of the rhythms of the people around you. It's really easy to want to fall into their pocket or their groove, and it is why a lot of people, I think, end up playing together. It is why that's the kind of more dominant playing style. Once you start doing larger classical bands. I don't want to say like symphonies and orchestras, but even just like high school and college stuff, university bands. It always, even when I was in university, I noticed that one of the most difficult parts isn't playing the difficult pieces or the difficult sections of a song, but it's when your section is so different than the people around you, especially in the people within your section. So if you're playing second trumpet and you have, maybe you're playing a hocket with first trumpet, or maybe you're playing a completely different line. The composer wanted the same timbre, but they wanted a completely different concept, and really kind of pulling yourself out of, that kind of glue that's holding you with the rest of your trumpet section, with the rest of the brass section, and doing your own thing. That's one of the more difficult things to do, and these guys just like make it look so easy. I mean, they're not, like I said, they're not even doing it with just one instrument. They are doing two different lines that don't line up with the rest of the people, don't even line up with their own lines. I have no idea how they pulled this off. I really don't. Geez. I think that's about all I can say uniquely about this. I could probably rant on for another 20 minutes about how crazy the song is and how it shouldn't work and just how freaking talented these people are. But it's pretty much just going to be rehash of what I've already said, just in different words. They call this a rather mediocre genius, but I mean, this is a 1000 IQ song right here. Uh, I, I can't even imagine writing it, but then telling just 5 people to play it. There's 10 lines here. Why would you make 5 people play, well, 9 lines? Why would you make 5 people play 9 very distinct lines that barely have much to do with each other rhythmically? It's just, oh man, that is not something I would want to be a part of. I can't imagine the amount of work and practice and playing and failing and practice and playing and failing and practice and playing and failing that this took until they could, play this one shot for, live videos and stuff like that, live performances. I am just blown away. This is phenomenal. I'm looking at the description here and, oh no. I was going to say they got a Bandcamp, and I was going to mention Bandcamp Friday coming up tomorrow, but it looks like, I don't know. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's their Bandcamp. There is a Bandcamp link in the description here, but I don't know if it's theirs or somebody that they worked with. But Bandcamp Friday is tomorrow. If you want to support any artist on Bandcamp, I highly suggest doing it the first Friday of every month. There's no revenue sharing. The bands get 100% of sales. So I'll be picking up a couple of Intercy albums. I might be looking into Invalids, see if they got anything there, and Artificial Silence, I think. So I might be getting like 4 albums this weekend. I'm excited. A lot of good stuff. Supporting these smaller bands. So yeah, if there's anything on Bandcamp you're looking at, this Friday's the day to do it. Heavily support the bands. All right, that one wraps this one up. You guys can hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of Invalids. Extremely intelligent genius. I can't say rather mediocre. I mean, that's the name of the song, but this is just a shot of pure genius right here. Oh man. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of Invalids though. And there's a description box above the comments if you want to check out some videos that YouTube's blocked, or if you want to join the Patreon, which is how you get into the Discord and vote on future bands and themes. That's the way to do it. It's only $1 per month. And you usually get, what are we doing, like 6, I guess it's 6 polls a month, and then the Discord for 30, 31 days, depending on the month. Well, I guess on February, it's not that good of a deal. It's $1 for 27 days, 28 days. Dang, I feel dumb. I just forgot how many days are in February. I'm like, I know it's a leap year, but is it 27 to 28 or 28 to 29? I'm tired. Oh, man. All right, so yeah. Bam. Comment box. Description box. like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And that wraps this one up. You guys stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. Keep being amazing. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.